Bonjour, and welcome to the course. I'm really excited to get started and to show you how great the French language is. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you an idea of what to expect from this course and the structure of the course. So the course is broken down into 10 different modules. Each module has a focus and some sort of theme, whether it's going to a restaurant or going shopping or going to a hotel, and each lesson builds on the previous lesson. So I encourage you to follow the lessons in the specific order. At the end of each module, you will find a vocabulary review where I basically list all of the different words that we learned in that specific module. That's a resource that you can continue to watch over and over and over again, and it will really help you build your vocabulary. The slides are organized in a way that really helps kind of simulate a conversation. So the red slides are always going to be me that's talking, whichever role, so to speak, that I'm playing that specific lesson. So as I said, the red is always me. The blue is where you come in. So this is where you will actually be giving your answers based on the words that we learn as we go along. So this is just an example from the first lesson, which you'll see in a couple of minutes if you continue watching. So anytime there's an underlined word, that means that you have to fill in the blank based on a word that we've previously learned. So since in the previous slide, and I'm going back here, there's bonjour, which I say to you means hello, and then now it's your turn to say it back to me. And it's a word that we just learned, bonjour, so you fill in the blank. When I'm going through and we're having a conversation, I'll leave a couple of seconds, enough time for you to look at your notes and fill in the blank and say it out loud. And then after a couple of seconds have passed, I'll reveal the correct answer, which is bonjour. You'll notice that your slides will always be in blue, and there will be underlines where I want you to fill in the blank with a specific word. If we continue, actually, another thing I wanted to mention too is you'll see in the very background of the blue slide there's a thing that says vous. And then in some other slides, and I'm going to go forward really quick here, some other slides, you'll see the word toi. So toi means you, and vous also means you. Toi is the informal you in French, whereas vous is the formal you. So this is one of the things that's kind of tricky for English speakers to master in French. So if it's someone that you're familiar with, if it's like a young child or a friend of a friend or a family member, toi is the word that you would use, or tu, or any of the related informal words. You can be informal with those people. Whereas people you don't know, or maybe like your boss or elders, you're going to want to use the vous or other related words which are formal. So there's always a distinction in French between formal language and informal language. So just to be clear about whether I want you to use formal or informal for that specific conversation, I've put it in the background. So whenever it says toi on the blue slides, it means I want you to be informal and to use informal speech. Whenever you see vous, I want you to use formal speech. So just remember that. That's just something I've added in there to remind you which one to use. And also sometimes it won't necessarily be apparent, so that will help you throughout the course. Another thing I really would encourage you to do is I want you to, every time I say a word, I want you to try and repeat it. Or, so try and repeat every word that I say after I've said it, or every sentence after I've said it, and just do it in chunks. This will really help you practice your pronunciation and really master the French language by trying to mimic my accent. If you find that I'm going through the slides too quickly, you can always try to slow down the slides. And there's a function in the bottom right-hand corner of the video that should allow you to either slow down the video or speed up the video. And you can even speed it up if you think that I'm going too slow. So that's a really neat tool to allow people to kind of progress at their own pace. You can also pause the video at any time and skip back at any time. So there's lots of different options. So I really encourage you to take advantage of those features. So I really look forward to getting to know you in the course and practicing French, and I'm really happy that you're taking this course, so good luck. Please let me know if you have any questions as you continue through the course. You can ask me questions in the questions and answers section of the page of each video. And finally, one thing I would highly encourage you to do is to please introduce yourself. I really like to get to know my students, and I really like to build an online community of French learners. So if you can introduce yourself in the question and answer section of this video or the whole course, just say your name, where you're from, and maybe why you're learning French. It really gives me a good idea about who my students are, and I'd really like the chance to get to know you. So we'll see you in the next video.
Bonjour mes amis. In this video, I'd like to take the opportunity to invite you to our French online learning community. If you haven't already heard about it, basically what it is it's a Facebook group that I've put together for all of the students in my French Level 1 and my French Level 2 class to give you all an opportunity to interact with each other and practice speaking French together because Udemy doesn't really allow for that option on here. So I want to invite you to that group right now. Another cool thing about this group is that you get to interact with me a lot more. So I can be there to answer your questions. I'll be there to also share some resources. I'll share interesting information about the French-speaking world, like songs, different articles, videos. I'll also post questions and practice exercises for you to do so that you can have something to talk about with the other people that are in the online learning community. You will find throughout this course that there are a couple of assignments that are linked with the online group. They are, of course, optional activities. You don't necessarily need to join the group, but I thought it would be a really good opportunity for everyone to kind of come together and practice. So if you are interested in joining our French learning community on Facebook, all you have to do is there's a link in the supplemental resources of this lecture. Follow that, it'll bring you to Facebook. You just log into your Facebook account and then you just request access. The next time I'm on Facebook, I will approve the access, of course. So I look forward to chatting with you more there, and we'll see you in the next video. À bientôt.
Bonjour. Hello. Now it's your turn. How do you say hello? Oui, correct. C'est bonjour, hello. Je m'appelle Dylan. Je m'appelle, my name is. Comment vous appelez-vous? What is your name? Now it's your turn. Parfait. Je m'appelle, and then your name. My name is, whatever your name is. Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Now it's your turn. How do you say nice to meet you? Oui, parfait, that's right. Enchanté. You'll notice that enchanté has two spellings. Sometimes we add an extra E on the end. If you're a man, you don't need to add an extra E, but if you're a woman, then you would add an extra E. The pronunciation is the same, so it's enchanté and enchanté, same pronunciation, but when you write it, we add the extra E to note that you're feminine. So, enchanté, nice to meet you. Au revoir, goodbye. Now it's your turn. How do we say goodbye? Oui, correct. Au revoir, goodbye. Okay, so that was an example of a formal introduction. Now let's do something a bit more informal, okay? So, salut. How do we say hi? Oui, salut. Je m'appelle Dylan. This should look familiar. My name is Dylan. Comment t'appelles-tu? What is your name? You'll notice that this question here, comment t'appelles-tu, is similar to comment vous appelez-vous. They mean the same thing in English. However, in French, we have two different words for you. We have formal and then we have an informal. So the formal is the vous. Comment vous appelez-vous? So if you want to be formal with someone, say a boss or an older relative or someone you don't know, we would ask comment vous appelez-vous? However, if you want to be informal with someone, such as a child maybe, or a friend of a friend that you're meeting, we can say comment t'appelles-tu? So it's a bit less formal. What is your name? And now it's your turn. The response is the same. The response doesn't change depending on whether it's formal or informal. It's still je m'appelle. Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Now it's your turn. How do we say nice to meet you? Oui, that's right. Enchanté. And don't forget, if you're a woman, we add the extra E, but it's the same pronunciation. Enchanté. Salut. And you'll notice that salut is the same word we used at the beginning. So salut can be used for hi and bye. It's kind of like the word ciao in Italian. So now it's your turn. What's an informal way to say bye? Oui, salut. Donc, salut. We'll see you in the next video. Salut. Welcome to the next video. Before we start this next video, we're going to just do a quick review of some of the main vocabulary that we learned in the previous video. So remember, we have bonjour, which means hello, good morning. We have je m'appelle, my name is. We have comment vous appelez-vous, what's your name, for formal. Comment t'appelles-tu, what's your name, for informal. Enchanté, and that means nice to meet you. Don't forget the extra E on the end is for women specifically. Au revoir, goodbye. And finally, salut, which is an informal way of saying hi and bye. So let's get started on this lesson. Bonsoir, hello. And bonsoir is the same as bonjour. They both mean hello. However, bonjour means hello and also good morning, whereas bonsoir means hello and also good evening. So we tend to use bonsoir more in the evening. Now it's your turn. What's a way that we can say hello? Good. We can say bonsoir. You can also say bonjour, but since I started the conversation by saying bonsoir, it only makes sense that you would reply also with bonsoir, since it's the evening in this context. Comment ça va? This is a way of how we ask someone is. How are you? Comment ça va? Typically, people will reply with ça va bien, merci, et vous? It's going well, thank you, and you? Now it's your turn. Fill in the blanks here. Oui, you're correct. Ça va bien. Merci. Merci is a really, really important word to know. It means thank you. In English, we have two words. We have thank and you, but in French, they just say merci. And that's just the one word that you need to know. Give this one a try. This is from the last video. How do you ask someone's name? What's your name? Oui, you're correct. Comment vous appelez-vous? What's your name? And notice that this one is the formal one. And how do we know if we're going to be talking informally or formally? Well, if you're talking to someone that you don't know, or someone that's older than you, or someone in a position of power, you usually want to use the formal. But if you're talking to someone that's a lot younger than you, such as a child, or a friend of a friend, or a family member, you'll likely want to use the informal. And for the purposes of our video, just a reminder that the background, where it says vous in the blue background, that tells us whether or not this conversation is formal or whether it's informal, and it would say toi. Je m'appelle Dillon. Et vous? Now it's your turn. How do we say my name is? Oui, je m'appelle, and then whatever your name is. My name is. À plus tard. See you later. This is a really useful way to say see you later. Now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say see you later? Oui, à plus tard. In this next conversation, it's going to be informal. So let's take a look at how it's a bit different. Salut, ça va? So remember, hi is a way to say hi. Salut is a way to say hi in an informal way. Ça va is an informal way of asking how it's going. It's kind of similar to the word sup in English, but it's used a lot more in spoken French than sup is in English. Now it's your turn. How do we say hi and you? Oui, salut. Ça va et toi? So to say and you, just a reminder, we can say et toi or et vous. Et toi is and you, but the informal you. Ça va is an informal way of responding to comment ça va or ça va. Ça va in this context means it's going, so it's neither good nor bad, and it's a really common way to reply. Bien, I can just reply with well. Or if I want to put it in a complete sentence, I could say ça va bien. It's back to you. How do I say what's your name? Bon, comment t'appelles-tu? Good. Comment t'appelles-tu? What's your name? Je m'appelle Dylan. Et toi? My name is Dylan. And you? Back to you again. Oui, parfait. Je m'appelle, and then your name. This is a really useful expression to say goodbye or to see you soon. À bientôt. See you soon. Do you remember how to say see you soon? Oui, à bientôt. See you soon. So, à bientôt. We'll see you in the next video. Salut. Welcome to the third lesson. In this lesson, same thing as the last lesson, we're going to start out by doing a quick review of some of the vocabulary from the previous video. So the first one is bonsoir. Hello, good evening. Comment ça va? How are you? Ça va bien? It's going well. Et vous? And you? That's the formal you. Merci. Thank you. À plus tard. See you later. Ça va? How's it going? It's an informal way of asking how's it going. Ça va? It's going. Et toi? And you? The informal you. À bientôt. See you soon. Great. So now that we've done a quick review, let's hop into this next video. Bonjour. Now it's your turn. How do you say hello? How are you? Bon. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Great, that's right. Hello, how are you? Bien, merci. Et vous? Now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say it's going well? Thank you. Oui, ça va bien. Merci. It's going well. Thank you. Another question you can ask someone is, quelle est votre nationalité? Quelle est votre nationalité? What is your nationality? And you can reply with, je suis, I am, and then fill in the blank with one of the words on the side. Let's run through the pronunciation together. We have, if you're a man, we say indien, and then if you're a woman, we say indienne. So we double the N and add an extra E. For men, we have américain, américaine, American. Brésilien, brésilienne, Brazilian. Égyptien, égyptienne, Egyptian. Canadien, canadienne, Canadian. Turc et turc. It's the same pronunciation, but a bit of a different spelling. Anglais, anglaise, English. Irlandais, irlandaise, Irish. Mexicain, mexicaine, Mexican. Arabe is the same for masculine and feminine. Marocain, marocaine. Great. So fill in the blank there. How do we say je suis and then whatever your nationality is? Good. And then, and you, we would fill in the blank as et vous. Je suis Canadien. D'où êtes-vous? I am Canadian. Where are you from? D'où êtes-vous? How do you say I am and then the city that you're from? Good. So I am is je suis. De is a new word and it means from. And then you can fill in the blank with the city that you're from. Et vous? Je suis de Toronto. Bonne journée. I am from Toronto. Have a great day. Bonne journée is a great way to say have a great day. It's a great way to end a conversation as well. And how do we say have a great day? That's right. Bonne journée. Have a great day. Okay, so the next conversation we're going to do is going to be informal. So, bonsoir. Hello. So how do we say hello? How are you? Bonsoir. Comment ça va? Oui, that's correct. Comme ci, comme ça. Et toi? Comme ci, comme ça means so-so. It literally means like this, like that. But we translate it as so-so. And how would you reply? How do you say so-so? And then how do you say thank you? Oui, comme ci, comme ça. Merci. So-so. Thank you. And again, quelle est ta nationalité? What is your nationality? Notice that here we're asking ta nationalité instead of votre nationalité. Votre nationalité, your nationality, is for the formal. So we not only have a formal and informal you, but we also have a formal and informal your. So this is the informal your. Quelle est ta nationalité? What is your nationality? And again, you can reply with je suis, and then pop your nationality there in the blank. And then how do you say and you? Good. In this case, we would say et toi? Je suis Canadien. D'où es-tu? I am Canadian. Where are you from? D'où es-tu? Do you remember how to say I am? Oui. And then de means from, as we learned, and fill in the blank with the city that you're from. Good. Je suis de Toronto. Bonne soirée. I'm from Toronto. Have a great evening. And this is similar to bonne journée, have a great day, but bonne soirée is have a great evening. So how do we say have a great evening? Oui, bonne soirée. Donc, bonne soirée ou bonne journée. So have a great evening or have a great day, depending on the time you're watching this. And we will see you in the next video. Bonjour, welcome to this next video. In this video, we're going to do a quick review of the vocabulary we learned in the previous lesson. So we have quel, which is what and which, est, which means is, votre nationalité, which means your nationality, the formal your, je suis de, I am from, d'où êtes-vous, where are you from, bonne journée, have a great day, comme ci, comme ça, so-so, ta nationalité, your nationality, informal, d'où es-tu, where are you from, informal, bonne soirée, have a great evening. So let's dive in. Salut! And how do we say hi? What's your name? Good. Salut. Comment vous appelez-vous? Hi, what's your name? Je m'appelle Dillon. Et vous? My name is Dylan. And you? Back to you again. How do you say my name is? Oui, je m'appelle, and then fill in your name. Quel est votre emploi? What is your job? So, and remember that votre is the formal your. Now we can say je suis, I am, and then fill in the blank with one of these professions. So we have professeur, informaticien for men, informaticienne for women, chargé de clientèle, étudiant for men, étudiante for women, with the T pronounced at the end, artiste, artist, directeur for men, directrice for women, serveur, server for men, serveuse, server for women, médecin, médecin, doctor, avocat, lawyer for men, avocate, lawyer for women, fonctionnaire, public service worker, ingénieur, engineer. So fill in the blank with whatever your profession is. And how do we ask and you in the formal way? Oui, et vous? Donc, je suis professeur. À bientôt. I'm a professor. See you soon. And how do you say see you soon? Oui, à bientôt. In this next conversation, it's going to be informal. So let's get started. Salut. How do you say hi? What's your name? Oui, salut. Comment t'appelles-tu? Hi, what's your name? Je m'appelle Dylan. Et toi? My name is Dylan. And you? And how do you say your name? My name is. Oui, je m'appelle. My name is. Quel est ton boulot? So you'll notice that this is another word for job. So we have one word for job, which is emploi, and then we have the term boulot. Boulot is a bit more informal than emploi. Emploi is just kind of your typical word, but boulot is a bit more of a slang or more common word that you would use. So typically we'll hear it with informal speech. So, quel est ton boulot? What is your job? And how do you say I am whatever your career is? Good. Je suis blank. Et toi? Je suis professeur. À bientôt. I'm a professor. See you soon. And how do you say see you soon again? Oui, à bientôt. Donc, à bientôt. I will see you in the next video. Bonjour. Before we start on this video, let's do a bit of a review from the previous lesson about some of the important vocabulary. So we have votre emploi, your job, professeur, teacher, professor, informaticien or informaticienne for women, computer specialist, chargé de clientèle, customer service specialist, étudiant for guys or étudiante for girls, student, artiste, artist, directeur for guys, directrice for girls, manager or director, they both have the same word, serveur for guys, serveuse for women, server, médecin, doctor, avocat, avocate, lawyer. And we also have fonctionnaire, public service worker, ingénieur or ingénieur, same pronunciation, engineer. And then finally, we have ton boulot, your job, which remember is an informal way of saying the word job. So this video, we're going to be focusing on how to pronounce and say the French numbers. So I really encourage you to repeat after me after each number that I say. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 et 20. So those are the numbers from 1 to 20. Now the numbers from 21 to 40, we have 21, and notice that we add and in between 20 and 1. We always do this for the first number in every section of 10. So we say 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And the next set, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59 et 60, 60. The next set of numbers is 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 80. And finally, we have 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, et 100, 100. So there you have it. Those are all of the numbers from 1 to 100. So I would really encourage you to find a way to practice this in your everyday life, whether you're walking or at work. Just try counting in your head or out loud the numbers in French, and it'll help you improve. So we'll see you in the next video. À bientôt! Bonsoir! Welcome to this next video. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to talk about someone's age. So let's get started. Salut! Quel âge avez-vous? Hi, what age are you? You'll notice in French we use the word avez. Avez normally means have. So if I was to just say avez-vous by itself, it would mean do you have. So it's kind of strange that we translate it as are. So in French we ask what age do you have? But in English we say what age are you? So there's a bit of a difference in translation there, but they mean the same thing. So quel âge avez-vous? What age are you? So now it's your turn. So how do you say I'm blank years old? And you? And don't forget the numbers that we just learned in the previous video. Good. J'ai blank ans. Et vous? J'ai 30 ans. J'ai 30 ans. I'm 30 years old. Now, do you remember how to ask, how are you? Oui, comment ça va? Ça va mal. It's not going well. And how do you say, why not well? Pourquoi means why. Oui, pourquoi mal? Why not well? Parce que j'ai faim. Parce que j'ai faim, because I'm hungry. And similar to age, j'ai, when it's by itself, normally means I have. So in French, we're literally saying I have hunger, but we translate it as I'm hungry into English. Parce que j'ai faim. And how do you say goodbye in French? Oui, au revoir. Goodbye. À la prochaine. See you next time. That's another way to say goodbye or to end a conversation is à la prochaine. Now this next conversation is going to be a little similar, but it's going to be informal. So we're going to use tu. Salut, quel âge as-tu? Hi, what age are you? Now it's your turn. How do you say I'm blank years old? And you? Oui, j'ai blank ans. Et toi? J'ai 30 ans. Comment ça va? And do you remember how to say it's not going well? Ça va mal. It's not going well. Pourquoi mal? Do you remember how to say because? And then the word for hungry? Parce que j'ai faim. Au revoir. And do you remember how to say see you next time? Oui, à la prochaine. Donc, à la prochaine. We'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to leave them in the Q&A section that's just below each video. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, so feel free to ask away. Bonjour! In this video, we're going to summarize a lot of the vocabulary that we've worked on throughout this module. So let's get started. We have bonjour, which means hello, good morning. Bonsoir, which means hello, good evening. Salut, which means hi and bye. It's a bit informal, but can be used usually at any time. Comment vous appelez-vous? What's your name? The formal way. Comment t'appelles-tu? What's your name? The informal way. Je m'appelle. My name is. Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Don't forget the extra E is for feminine, if you're a woman. Comment ça va? How are you? Ça va? How's it going? This is an informal way of asking how's it going. Ça va. It's going. Ça va bien. I'm well. Ça va mal. I'm not well. Comme ci comme ça. So. Pourquoi? Why? Parce que. Because. Et vous? And you? Formal. Et toi? And you? Informal. Quel? What? Which? Quel is for masculine. Quel is for feminine. The double L and the E is for feminine. Et is. Votre nationalité. Your nationality. Formal. Ta nationalité. Your nationality. Informal. Je suis de. I am from. D'où êtes-vous? Where are you from? Or d'où es-tu? Where are you from? The informal version. Votre emploi? Your job. Formal. Ton emploi? Your job. Informal. Votre boulot? Ton boulot? Your job. Formal. And then informal. Professeur? Teacher. Informaticien? Informaticienne? Computer specialist. Chargé de clientèle? Customer service specialist. Étudiant, étudiante, student. Artiste, artist. Directeur, directrice, manager, director. Serveur, serveuse, server. Médecin, doctor. Avocat, avocate, lawyer. Fonctionnaire, public service worker. Ingénieur, ingénieur, engineer. Quel âge avez-vous? Quel âge as-tu? What age are you? Informal, formal, and informal. J'ai, I have. J'ai blank ans. I am blank years old. J'ai faim. I am hungry. Merci. Thank you. À plus tard. See you later. À bientôt. See you soon. À la prochaine. See you next time. Au revoir. Goodbye. Bonne journée. Have a nice day. Bonne soirée. Have a nice evening. So there you go. Those are all the words we've learned so far. You're doing great. We'll see you in the next section. Salut! To start off this video, let's do a bit of a review from the previous video. So here is some of the key vocabulary from the previous video where we were talking about age. So, quel, what or which. Âge, age. Avez-vous, do you have. J'ai, I am for age and hunger, but normally it means I have. Ans, years old. Mal, not well. Parce que, because. And faim, hungry. So let's get started. Quand est votre anniversaire? When is your birthday? So you can reply by saying c'est le and then fill in the blank. So the number will go in the first blank, the month will go in the second blank, and the year will go in the third blank. So we have janvier, January, février, February, mars, March, avril, April, mai, May, juin, June, juillet, July, août, August, septembre, September, octobre, October, novembre, November, and décembre, December. So give it a try. Quand est votre anniversaire? When is your birthday? And as an example, you could say c'est le 9 septembre 1990. So, and the year we will talk about a little bit later in another video. But the important thing to note here is that we say in English it's September 9th. So we say 9th, we don't say September 9. But in French, they do say 9. So c'est le 9, it's the 9, September, 1990, 1990. Mon anniversaire est aujourd'hui. My birthday is today. Aujourd'hui, today. Today, happy birthday. So how do you say today? And then how do you say birthday? Oui, correct. Aujourd'hui, bon anniversaire. Today, happy birthday. Merci. J'ai une fête à ma maison. Thank you. I'm having a party at my house. Ma maison. My house. Je vous invite à ma fête. I invite you to my party. And notice that the you in French goes before invite, whereas in English, you comes after invite. So we say I invite you, but in French we say je vous invite. And how do we fill in the blanks here? How do you say thanks and then I? Oui, parfait. Merci, je serai là. Thank you, I will be there. Alors, so, à plus tard, see you later. And then repeat after me, certainement. Certainly. In this next conversation, it'll be a bit similar, but it'll be informal, just like some of the previous videos. Salut mon ami. And notice that ami has the extra e on it. So if your friend is a woman, we add an extra e. If it's a man, we don't. So it's just ami with the I ending for men. But the pronunciation is the same. So ami and ami are pronounced exactly the same. And how would you reply? By saying, hi, my friend. How do we say this in French? Oui, salut mon ami. And how do we ask when someone's birthday is? Oui, quand est ton anniversaire? Notice that we're saying ton anniversaire because it's informal, whereas before we were saying votre anniversaire, which is the formal version. Mon anniversaire est le 4 juin 1990. Et toi? My birthday is June 4th, 1990. And you? And how would you reply to that question? Oui, bon. C'est le 9 septembre 1990. It's September 9th, 1990. Est-ce que tu as d'habitude une fête? So a couple of things in here. D'habitude means normally or usually. And then est-ce que, usually est-ce que does not get translated into English. Sometimes we can translate it as do, as in this example. But all of the time, when you see est-ce que, it just means that it's a yes or no question. So if you see est-ce que at the beginning of a question, it's telling us that it's a yes or no question. That's its main purpose. So, est-ce que tu as d'habitude une fête? Do you normally have a party? And how do you reply? Parfait. Oui, j'ai une fête d'habitude. Yes, I have a party normally. Moi aussi. Me too. Great, so that's it for this video. We've talked a bit about birthdays, you've learned how to say party, and we've started learning about how to ask yes or no questions. So I will see you in the next video. À bientôt! Salut mon ami! Let's start off this video by doing another review. So we have quand, when, est, is, votre, your, formal and plural, ton, your, informal and singular, anniversaire, birthday, c'est, it is, or it's, Parce que, because. Mon or ma, my. Aujourd'hui, today. Bon anniversaire, happy birthday. Une fête, a party. À can mean at, to, or in, depending on the context. Ma maison, my house. Invite, invite. Je serai, I will be. Là, there. Ami, friend. Tu as, you have. Est-ce que signifies a yes or no question. D'habitude, usually and normally. Certainement, certainly. Moi, me. Aussi, too, and also. And just a reminder, here are the months of the year. So we have janvier, février, mars, avril, mai, juin, juillet, août, septembre, octobre, novembre, et décembre. So let's dive in. So, d'où venez-vous? Where do you come from? So, de normally means from, but instead of putting it at the end of the question, like we do in English, we actually put it at the beginning. So we say d'où, meaning from where do you come? And how would you reply to this? So how do you say I come from city and you? Oui, je viens de New York. Et vous? Je viens de Toronto. I come from Toronto. And how would you ask, where is Toronto? Oui, où est Toronto? Where is Toronto? Toronto est au Canada. Où est New York? Toronto is in Canada. Where is New York? And how would you reply to that? So if you want to say city, my city, is in country, my country. Here are a couple of example countries that you could use. So we have en Inde, in India, aux États-Unis, in the United States, au Brésil, in Brazil, en Égypte, in Egypt, au Canada, in Canada, en Turquie, in Turkey, en Angleterre, in England, en Irlande, in Ireland, au Mexique, in Mexico, en Arabie Saoudite, in Saudi Arabia, and au Maroc, in Morocco. So how would you reply? Donc, je suis, so this is how you would say so, I am blank. So, donc, je suis indien, indienne, Indian or Indian, américain, américaine, brésilien, brésilienne, égyptien, égyptienne, canadien, canadienne, turc, turc, anglais, anglaise, irlandais, irlandaise, mexicain, mexicaine, arabe, marocain, marocaine. Je suis canadien. Enchanté. Enchanté. Nice to meet you is how you can reply. So let's look at how this would come across if you were in talking with someone that you were familiar with, so an informal conversation. So we have d'où viens-tu? Where do you come from? And how would you reply using what we've just learned? Yeah, here's an example. So, je viens de New York. I come from New York. Je viens d'Athènes. I come from Athens. If the city you come from starts with a vowel sound, you're going to change the de from de to d apostrophe, just to make it easier for people to pronounce. So we say je viens d'Athènes. And how would you ask where is Athens or Athens? Oui, où est Athens? And how would you say this in French? And you, where do you come from? Good. Et toi, d'où viens-tu? Je viens de Grèce. I come from Greece. So there you have it. Now you know how to ask people's where people are from. So we will see you in the next video. À bientôt. Bonjour. Let's take a quick review of some of the vocabulary we learned in the previous lesson. So we have d'où, where, from. Vous venez, you come. Tu viens, you come. Je viens, I come. De, from. Où, where. Au, en, à, which mean in, just different ways. Donc, so, therefore, thus. And et, and. So let's dive in. So today we're going to be talking about how to ask questions about family. So the first question we can ask is, combien de personnes as-tu dans ta famille? How many people do you have in your family? So here, in is dans, and how many is combien de? And how would we reply to that? How would you say, I have this number of people? Parfait. So j'ai, I have, and then whatever number you have in your family. Personne de ma famille. Dans ma famille, j'ai 5 personnes. In my family, I have 5 people. And how would we ask, who do you have in your family? Who do you have in your family? Remember the expression we had before for do? The expression we had before for do? It was a three-word expression. Oui. Qui est-ce que tu as dans ta famille? Qui est-ce que tu as dans ta famille? So, who do you have in your family? J'ai un père, une mère, un frère et une sœur. I have a father, a mother, a brother, and a sister. Notice that for un père et un frère, we say un, but then for une mère et une sœur, we say une. So if it's feminine and you want to say a or one, we say une. If it's masculine, we say un for a or one. So now it's your turn. Tell me who you have in your family. Good. So here's an example of something you could have said. So, moi, j'ai 2 pères, une mère et 3 sœurs. Me, I have 2 fathers, a mother, and 3 sisters. Ta sœur, quel âge a-t-elle? Your sister, how old is she? And here we add in a T between a and elle, and the reason why we do that is just because it makes it easier to pronounce it. It's much more challenging to say a elle than it is to say a-t-elle. A-t-elle has a bit nicer of a flow to it. So how would we reply to that? How do you say sister? And how do you say blank years old? Good. Here's an example of something you could say. Ma sœur, elle a 25 ans. My sister, she is 25 years old. Ton frère, quel âge a-t-il? Your brother, how old is he? And what would you say here? My brother, he is blank years old. Good. Mon frère, il a 25 ans. My brother, he is 25 years old. Next, tes parents sont-ils mariés? Your parents, are they married? And notice marié has an S on it because I'm talking about both of your parents. If I was to ask, is he married or is she married, the S would not be on marié. And how do we fill in the blanks here? How do we say parents and married? Good. Non, mes parents ne sont pas mariés. No, my parents are not married. Es-tu marié? Are you married? Notice that we add the extra E on if you're talking to a woman. And how would we reply with, yes, I am married? Oui, je suis marié. Yes, I am married. And there's a couple of, depending on how they reply, whether if they're married to a man or a woman, we can ask, ton mari, comment s'appelle-t-il? Your husband, what's his name? Or, ta femme, comment s'appelle-t-elle? Your wife, what is her name? So give it a try. How would you answer this question? Either my husband, his name is blank, or my wife, her name is blank. Good. So we could say mon mari, il s'appelle, and then the name. Ma femme, elle s'appelle, and then the name. So there you go. Now you can ask all sorts of questions about people's family. You can even describe your own. I encourage you to try and describe your own family in the comment section, in the Q&A section, just for practice. Or you can share it on our online Facebook community if you haven't had a chance to join just yet. The instructions are in one of the earlier modules. We'll see you there. Bonjour mon ami. Let's do a bit of review of the vocabulary before we start this video. So we have combien de, how much, how many, personnes, people, tu as, you have for the informal, vous avez, you have for the formal, dans, in, ton, ta, tes, your, informal, votre, vos, your, formal, mon, ma, mes, my, famille, family, qui, who, un père, a father, une mère, a mother, un frère, a brother, une sœur, a sister, il a, he has, elle a, she has, ils sont, they are, marié, married, and then ne pas, which means not. So the ne goes before the verb, and the pas goes after the verb. So it's kind of like a bit of a sandwich, if you will. We have mari, husband, femme, wife or woman. Comment s'appelle-t-il? What's his name? Comment s'appelle-t-elle? What's her name? So let's get started. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to introduce people to other people. So let's get started. So we can say, Salut, je te présente Sarah. Hi, I introduce Sarah to you. So to you, the te actually goes before présente, which means introduce. So a bit of a different word order there in French. So now it's your turn. How do you say hi, Sarah? What is her job? So we want to say hi, is, and job. Do you remember what those words are? Oui. Salut Sarah. Quel est son emploi? Elle est étudiante. She is a student. And how do we say she? Does she study philosophy? Oui, c'est elle. Est-ce qu'elle étudie la philosophie? And notice that est-ce que, the que in est-ce que, changes to QU apostrophe before a vowel sound. So est-ce qu'elle instead of est-ce que elle. Just makes it a bit easier to pronounce. Non, elle n'étudie pas la philosophie. No, she does not study philosophy. How do we fill in the blank here? What does she study? So does and study. Oui, c'est qu'est-ce qu'elle étudie? What does she study? Elle étudie le commerce. She studies business. So how do we fill in the blanks here? So how do we say my friend and is a student? Voici mon ami, il est aussi un étudiant. So mon ami est une étudiante. Ton ami, qu'est-ce qu'il étudie? Your friend, what does he study? How do we say he studies information technology? How do you say studies in this example? It would be étudie. Il étudie l'informatique. He studies information technology. Great. So we will see you in the next video. À la prochaine. Bonjour. Welcome to the next lesson. So we're going to start this lesson off like we have the previous lessons and do a bit of vocabulary review. So, je présente, I present or introduce. Son, sa, ses means his, her. All three of these mean either his or her. So the words are used, they have the same meaning in French. His and her have the same meaning in French, whereas in English they're two distinct words. Étudiant and étudiante, student. Elle, she, il, he. La philosophie, philosophy. Votre, vos, your, formal. Elle étudie, she studies. Il étudie, he studies. Le commerce, business. Voici, here is. Qu'est-ce que, what does, dot dot dot. And que, what. Donc, est-ce que tu utilises Instagram? Do you use Instagram? This video will be all about social media and how to ask for your new friend's social media profile so that you can follow them. Yes, j'utilise Instagram. How do we say this? How do we say yes, I use Instagram? Bon, oui, j'utilise Instagram. Yes, I use Instagram. Moi aussi, me too. How do we say what is? What is? Oui, quel est ton nom d'utilisateur? What is your name, your username? Mon nom d'utilisateur est traveling_linguist. Et toi? My username is traveling_linguist. And you? How do you say my username is? You could say mon nom d'utilisateur est blank. Good. Je vais t'abonner. I'm going to follow you. And I'm going to is vais, je vais. And then you is the te. And notice that the te goes before the verb. So we say instead of to follow you, we're literally saying to you follow in French. It's just how they order the words. And now how do we say I'm going to follow you too? So we have abonner already, which is follow. Good. Je vais t'abonner aussi. I'm going to follow you too. Good. Oui, je vais t'abonner. Yes, I'm going to follow you. And how would we ask this question? Do you have videos on YouTube? So, des vidéos sur YouTube. Some videos on YouTube. How do we ask, do you have? Oui, Est-ce que tu as des vidéos sur YouTube? Do you have videos on YouTube? Oui, j'ai des vidéos sur YouTube. Abonne-moi. Yes, I have videos on YouTube. Follow me. Quel blank is le nom de ta chaîne? What is the name of your channel? How do we fill in the blank here? Oui, est. Est. Quel est le nom de ta chaîne? What is the name of your channel? Say The Traveling Linguist. It's The Traveling Linguist. D'accord. Blank va blank abonner. So how do we say I am going to follow you? Remember the word order is a bit different here. Good. D'accord. Je vais t'abonner. Great. So that's it for this video. Those are my actual Instagram and YouTube accounts. So if you do want to follow me, feel free to. You can also ask me questions on there about French if you have any. So feel free to ask away, and hopefully we will connect there. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. À la prochaine! Bonjour! Great job so far. We're already almost done 2 modules. So in this video, we're going to be talking about a review of the vocabulary you've learned so far. So let's get started. We have quand, when, est-ce que, which marks a yes or no question, d'où, where from, où, where, combien de, how much, how many, qui, who, votre, ton, your, formal is votre, the informal is ton, mon, ma, mes, my, and more, yours. We have votre, vos, the formal, and then ton, ta, tes, informal. Anniversaire, birthday. Bon anniversaire, happy birthday. Une fête, a party. Maison, house. J'invite, I invite. C'est, it is. Aujourd'hui, today. À, which means to, at, in. Là, which means there. De, from. Au, en, à, in, or to. Dans, in. Donc, so, therefore, thus. Et, and. Tu as, you have informal. Vous avez, you have formal. Il a, he has. Elle a, she has. Ils sont, elles sont, they are. Ne pas, not, do not, don't. Comment s'appelle-t-il? What's his name? Comment s'appelle-t-elle? What's her name? D'habitude, usually, normally. Certainement, certainly. Moi, me. Aussi, too, also. Je viens, I come. Tu viens, you're coming. Personne, people. Ami, friend. Famille, family. Un père, a father. Une mère, a mother. Un frère, a brother. Une sœur, a sister. Marié, married. Mari, husband. Et femme, wife. So there you go. Now you've learned almost 100 words in French. That's crazy. We really haven't had a lot of class time together so far, but so far you've already learned 100 words. So great job, and I really encourage you to keep up the good work, and we'll see you in the next module. À bientôt! Salut mon ami! Welcome to the next video. In this video we're going to be talking about how to describe things. This is really, really useful, especially when you're not sure what the name of something is. You can just describe it. So that's really the focus of this video and the whole module as well, so that you can speak about things even if you don't know the exact word. Okay, so let's get started. Est-ce que ta maison est rouge? Is your house red? How would we reply to this? No, it is not red. So is and red are the words we're looking for here. Non, ce n'est pas rouge. No, it's not red. So A and rouge. Quelle couleur est ta maison? What color is your house? It's blue. So how do we say it's in French? Bon, c'est bleu. C'est bleu. It's blue. Est-ce que ta maison est petite? Is your house small? How would we answer this one? No, it's not small. Non, ce n'est pas petit. No, it's not small. How do I say it's big? It's. Very useful expression in French. C'est grand. C'est. It's big. Est-ce que ta maison est jeune ou vieille? Est-ce que ta maison est jeune ou vieille? Is your house young or old? How do you answer this one? My house is old. Great. Ma maison est vieille. My house is old. Donc, c'est une grande et vieille maison bleue. So, it's a big old blue house. I notice the word order is a bit different here. Est-ce que tu aimes la maison? Do you like the house? How would you answer? Yes, I like the house. Yes, and the house. How do we say those? Oui, j'aime la maison. Yes, I like the house. How do you say it's again? And you? C'est excellent. Et toi? Non, je n'aime pas la maison. C'est mauvaise. No, I don't like the house. It's bad. Do you remember how to say why and bad? Pourquoi est-ce que c'est mauvaise? Why is it bad? Parce que la maison est vieille. Je préfère les maisons jeunes. Because the house is old. I prefer young houses. In my opinion, I prefer old houses. How do you say I prefer and old? Good. Selon moi, je préfère les vieilles maisons. So, selon moi is a really useful expression. It means in my opinion. In my opinion. Je préfère. Préfère is also a really useful word. Les vieilles maisons. Bon. There you go. So, we will see you in the next video. À la prochaine. Salut mon ami. Let's get started. Bienvenue dans la salle de classe. Welcome to the classroom. Your question might be, where are the desks? How do we say where are? Do you remember? Où sont les bureaux? Où sont les bureaux? Where are the desks? Voici les bureaux. Voici, here are. Et les chaises sont là. And the chairs are there. Là, there. Ce livre et cette règle sont pour toi. This book and this ruler are for you. So how would you clarify? By saying that book and this book and this ruler are for me. Good. Ce livre et cette règle sont pour moi. That book and that ruler are for me. Oui, tu es ici, au bureau. Yes, you are here, at the desk. Au is at the. Je suis là, I am here, or I am there. Et la porte est là-bas, and the door is over there. As-tu des tableaux dans blank? Do you remember how to say in the classroom? The classroom? Good. As-tu des tableaux dans la salle de classe? Do you have chalkboards in the classroom? Oui, il y a ces tableaux. Yes, there are these chalkboards. Il y a. There is. There are. Good. Great. So now we have a little bit of vocabulary about how to talk in the classroom. I know we don't necessarily have a classroom for ourselves, but it's definitely still useful to have that vocabulary in case you decide to take a French course in an actual physical classroom, or if you take a course in a French-speaking country. Now you know a bit of the vocabulary. So we'll see you in the next video. À bientôt! Salut mon ami! In this video, we're going to be having a conversation at a cafe. So let's get started. Bienvenue à mon café. Welcome to my cafe. How do you complete the sentence here? I want a coffee, please. Good. Je veux un café, s'il vous plaît. I want a coffee, please. Certainement. Quelque chose à manger. Certainly. Something to eat. Something is quelque chose. Quelque chose, something. How would we fill in the answer here? So, yes, I want to eat un croissant. Oui, je veux manger un croissant. Yes, I want to eat a croissant. Désolé, sorry, on n'a pas de croissant. We don't have any croissant. So in this instance, ne pas de, so ne pas usually means not, don't, do not. Ne pas de means not any. So we don't have any croissants. And then maybe you're looking in the window of the different desserts and pastries they have, and you see something, but you don't know what the name of it is. So you point and say, cela, that, c'est quoi? What's that? And then I would reply as, c'est un pain au chocolat. C'est un pain au chocolat. That's a chocolate croissant. Est-ce que vous le voulez? Do you want it? And notice that it comes before the word want in French. So we say le voulez. So literally, do you it want is how we say it in French. And say I got that wrong. So maybe what you were pointing at was not les pains au chocolat. I didn't see your pointing correctly, maybe. And instead you said, no, the green ones. So not the pain au chocolat, but the green ones nearby. So how would we say, do you remember how to say the word no? Good, it's non. So non, les verts. No, the green ones. And then I realize what it is. Oh, c'est un macaron. That's a macaron. And then you can reply with, yes, I want them. So how would you say yes and want? Good. Oui, je les veux. So remember the word order is a bit different here. Ça fait 3 euros, s'il vous plaît. Ça fait 3 euros, s'il vous plaît. That's 3 euros, please. And how do you say, here is 3 euros? Thank you. Voici 3 euros. Merci. So there you go. Now you have a bit of vocabulary to be able to actually order things in a cafe. And even if you don't know the words of every single pastry, you can use the technique that I showed you earlier on. Cela, c'est quoi? That, what's that? To be able to point to something and order it. There you go. You can also use colors, which we'll learn later on in the course, to describe what you want in a place where you aren't sure of the words. Donc, à bientôt. Au revoir. Salut mon ami. Now that we've reached the end of Module 3, let's go through the words that we've learned so far and just do a quick summary. So we have bienvenue, welcome. S'il te plaît, s'il vous plaît, please, the informal and the formal. Cela, that. Ce n'est pas, it's not. Quoi, what. Rouge, red. Couleur, color. Petit and petite, small. Grand et grande, big. Jeune, young. Vieux et vieille, old, masculine, feminine. Excellent, excellente, excellent. Mauvais, mauvaise, bad. Bon, bonne, good. Selon moi, in my opinion. Je préfère, I prefer. Tu aimes, vous aimez, both the informal and the formal. J'aime, I like. Je veux, I want. Tu veux, vous voulez, you want the informal and the formal. On a, we have. Voici, here is, here are. Voilà, there is, there are. Ici, here. Là-bas, over there. Il y a, there is, there are. Les bureaux, the desks. La salle de classe, the classroom. Les chaises, the chairs. Ce livre, this book, that book. Cette règle, this ruler, that ruler. Des tableaux, some chalkboards. Un café, cafe or coffee. Quelque chose, something. Manger, to eat. Un croissant, a croissant. Un pain au chocolat, a chocolate croissant. Les verts, the green ones. And finally, ça fait blank euro. It's blank euros. So there you go. Great job so far. We'll see you in the next module. À bientôt! Salut mes amis! In this module, we're going to be talking about how to order at a restaurant. So that's definitely really useful when it comes to traveling and living somewhere. And I think that's a great opportunity to practice speaking French is at a restaurant with a server. So let's begin. Bonsoir, combien de personnes? Hello, how many people? You can reply with, on est 3 people. So how can we say 3 people? On est 3 personnes. We are 3 people. Pour manger ou pour boire? To eat or to drink. Manger, to eat. Boire, to drink. We are here to eat. Blank, ici pour blank. So how do we say we are and then eat? Good. On est ici pour manger. We are here to eat. Est-ce que vous avez une réservation? Do you have a reservation? No, we don't have a reservation. How do we say this? Non, on n'a pas de réservation. No, we don't have a reservation. Est-ce que vous préférez l'intérieur ou l'extérieur? Do you prefer inside, l'intérieur, or outside, l'extérieur? We prefer inside. How do we say this? Good. On préfère l'intérieur. We prefer inside. Suivez-moi à votre table. Follow me to your table. Bien sûr. Of course. This is a really useful expression for sure. It's similar to oui, yes, but it's definitely different, definitely useful. Bien sûr. Voilà, et voici les menus. There you are, and here are the menus. And how do we say thank you again? Good, c'est merci. Parfait. Donc, merci beaucoup, Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. À la prochaine! Bonjour mon ami. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to order drinks specifically. So let's get started. So the server might ask, Qu'est-ce que vous buvez ce soir? What are you drinking this evening? And then you can reply with, blank, I vais prendre une bière. I'm going to have a beer. So how do we say, remember how to say I? Oui, c'est je. Donc, je vais prendre une bière. I'm going to have a beer. Et pour votre ami, and for your friend, il va have un verre de vin. He's going to have a glass of wine. How do we say have? With respect to drinks specifically. Good, we can say prendre. Il va prendre un verre de vin. In French, we use prendre to say things like have a drink or have food. If you want to say I have something like I have a house, I have a dog, then we use the expressions we learned before, which is j'ai. But for food and drinks, we can say prendre. Il va prendre un verre de vin. He's going to have a glass of wine. Blanc, rouge ou rosé. White, red, or rosé. How do we say he prefers white? Chardonnay, please. Give it a try. Good. Il préfère blanc, chardonnay. S'il vous plaît. He prefers white. Chardonnay, please. D'accord, je reviens sous peu avec vos boissons. Okay, I'm going to come back soon with your drinks. So, sous peu means soon. Great. So in the next video, we're going to be talking about how to start ordering the actual food. So I'll see you in the next video. À bientôt. Salut. So in this video, we're going to be talking about appetizers and how to order appetizers. One thing I will note before we get started is that the word for appetizers is entrée. It's entrée, or entree as we know it in English. But the entrees as we know it in English are actually, which are your main dishes, we actually call those les plats principaux. So plats principaux, so are literally main dishes in French. So in French, entrée, une entrée is an appetizer. Un plat principal is a main dish or an entree. But in English, an entree is usually your main dish, and then the appetizer is your, like before your meal. So that's one difference that you'll notice between the English vocabulary and the French vocabulary, but we'll see some examples in a little bit. So let's get started. Voici vos boissons. Here are your drinks. So how would you say this? Thank you for the wine and the beer. How do you say these words? Oui, c'est correct. Merci pour le vin et la bière. Thanks for the wine and the beer. Qu'est-ce que je vous sers? What am I serving you? This is a really common question that servers will ask you. Qu'est-ce que je vous sers? What am I serving you? And just as before, the you comes before ser. So it's coming before the verb. Some of the words aren't coming before the verb. So the word order, again, is changing a little bit. We would like to order the appetizers first. Blank voudrait commander les entrées d'abord. So d'abord means first. So how would you say we? We would like. Oui, c'est on. On voudrait. We would like. Ça va? Is that okay? That's a great way for you to ask, is that okay? And this doesn't just apply to restaurants, but you can use this in any kind of situation. Ça va? Oui. Qu'est-ce que vous voudriez? Yes. What would you like? How would you say we would like some foie gras? Oui. On voudrait du foie gras. We would like some foie gras. On voudrait. Good. And then the server might reply with bon choix. Bon choix. Or they might reply with nothing, which means that maybe it wasn't a good choice. Who knows? But bon choix means good choice. Great, so we'll see you in the next video where we're going to be talking about our plats principaux, or our entrees as we know them in English. See you in the next video. Salut mon ami. Let's talk about the main dishes. So as I said before, normally in English we call these entrees, but as we just learned in the previous video, an entrée in French is actually an appetizer. Okay? So, est-ce que vous prêt pour les plats principaux? So this is something a server might ask you. Are you ready for the entrees? Êtes-vous prêt pour les plats principaux? And then you could reply with, oui, yes, we are ready for the entrees. So how do you think you would say this? So you could say, oui, on est prêt pour les plats principaux. Yes, we are ready for the entrees. Qu'est-ce que je vous sers? What am I serving you? How would we say, I'm going to have le poisson à la crème, the fish with the cream? Je vais prendre, I'm going to have, je vais prendre le poisson à la crème. Et votre ami, and your friend? What do you recommend for him? Blank, vous recommandez pour lui. So how do we say what do? What do for a question? Do you remember? It is qu'est-ce que? Qu'est-ce que vous recommandez pour lui? Je recommande le tartare de bœuf. Très excellent. I recommend the beef tartare. Very excellent. Donc, he's going to have the beef tartare. So how do we say he's going to have? Il va prendre. Donc, il va prendre le tartare de bœuf. So, he's going to have the beef tartare. Je reviens sous peu. I'll be back soon. And then you can reply with, good, merci monsieur. Merci monsieur. So there we have it. Now you know how to order your main dish. In the next video, we're going to be talking about how to order desserts, the best part of a meal. So I will see you in the next video. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. So now that you've finished eating, the server might come over and ask you something like, ça vous a plu? Ça vous a plu? Did you like it? And hopefully you'll reply with something like this, which would be, yes, it was very delicious. So do you remember how to say yes and very? Oui, c'était très délicieux. Yes, it was very delicious. Bon, vous voulez un dessert ou un café? Do you want a dessert or a coffee? And how would you ask, what desserts do you have? Or which desserts do you have? Quel dessert? Oui, quel dessert est-ce que vous avez? Which desserts do you have? Il y a le gâteau basque aux cerises et la crème brûlée. There is the Basque cherry cake and the crème brûlée. Je voudrais, I would like. And then, do you remember how to say the crème brûlée? Oui, la crème brûlée. It's the same thing, because it comes from French originally. So, je voudrais la crème brûlée. Et pour votre ami, and for your friend, how would we say he would like? And un café crème is a cappuccino in French. Un café crème, cappuccino. Oui, il voudrait un café crème. Il voudrait. Certainement, messieurs. Et messieurs is just a plural form of monsieur. Monsieur. And how do we say thank you, sir? Or thanks, sir? We can say merci monsieur. And there we have it. That's it for this video. And in the next, we'll talk about how to finish your dining experience by ordering the bill. So we'll see you there. À bientôt. Salut, and welcome to the final video about ordering at a restaurant. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to request your bill at the end of a meal. So when you're done your food, the server may come over and ask, avez-vous terminé? Have you finished? Typically in most European countries, I know here in Canada and also in the United States, servers will often come over to you and ask to bring your bill. However, in a lot of other countries, especially in Europe, servers do not do this. You'll have to actually call your server over. But as an example, if the server did come over and ask, have you finished? This is what they would say, avez-vous terminé? And then you could reply, yes, thanks a lot. Do you remember how to say yes, thank you? Good. Oui, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, thanks a lot. Est-ce que vous voulez l'addition? Do you want the bill? And again, not normally something a server would ask you. You would have to ask yourself. But if they did, this is how it would sound. Est-ce que vous voulez l'addition? Do you want the bill? The bill, l'addition. Oui. And do you remember how to say the bill? Oui, l'addition, s'il vous plaît. Yes, the bill, please. And then the server goes away and comes back and says, voici l'addition. Here is the bill. And if you say, I would like to, and then pay, payer, and then 20 euros with ma carte. So we're looking, how do you say, I would like to, 20, and then with? How do we say these? You could say, je voudrais payer 20 euros avec ma carte. I would like to pay 20 euros with my card. And then if you wanted to say, he would like to pay the rest with his card. So how do we say pay with and then card? Oui, correct. Il voudrait payer le reste avec sa carte. So payer, to pay, avec, with, and carte, card. Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que vous voulez le reçu? Est-ce que vous voulez le reçu? Do you want the receipt? Le reçu, receipt? Yes, I want the receipt. And how do we say this? Oui, je veux le reçu. Yes, I want the receipt. Good. So there you have it. Now you know how to order at a restaurant. There's lots of great French dishes to try, so I think that will be a good experience for you. So we'll see you in the next video. À bientôt. Bonjour. Before we complete this module, let's do a quick review of all the words we've learned so far. So we have combien de, how much, how many. Qu'est-ce que, what. Bien sûr, of course. D'accord, okay. D'abord, first. Soupe, soon. Boire, to drink. Tu bois, and vous buvez, you drink. Tu préfères, vous préférez, you prefer. Suivez-moi, follow me. Prendre, to take or to have a drink. Je vais, I'm going to. Il va, he's going to. Il préfère, he prefers. Je reviens, I'm coming back. Je sers, I'm serving. On voudrait, we would like. Vous voudriez, you would like. Commander, to order. Recommander, to recommend. C'était, it was. Je voudrais, I would like. Il voudrait, he would like. Avez-vous terminé? Have you finished? Lui, him. Une réservation, a reservation. Une bière, a beer. Un verre de vin, a glass of wine. boissons, drinks, les entrées, appetizers, les plats principaux, entrees, le poisson, fish, la crème, cream, bœuf, beef, le gâteau, the cake, cerise, cherries, choix, choice, prêt, ready, délicieux, delicious, ça vous a plu, did you enjoy it, l'addition, the bill, carte, card, le reçu, the receipt, son sachet, his or her, avec, with, ne pas de, not any, l'intérieur, inside, and l'extérieur, outside. So there you have it. That's all the vocabulary you've learned this section. Keep up the good work. We'll see you in the next section. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the questions and answers section. I'm happy to answer them. So yeah, just reach out if something doesn't make sense to you or you're confused, and I'll be happy to answer your question. Bonsoir. In this video, we're going to be talking about what to do if you don't understand someone or you need help. So let's get started. You're up first, actually. So how would we say hello, sir? Good. We would say bonsoir, monsieur. Bonsoir. Qu'est-ce que vous buvez ce soir? So we're using an example from the last module about eating at a restaurant. Hello, what are you drinking this evening? And then instead of saying like we do in English or in French say so it's similar, but it's a little bit of a different pronunciation, so just keep that in mind. How would I say sorry? I. Good. Sorry is désolé, and then I, we know is je. So, désolé, je ne comprends pas. Sorry, I don't understand. Je ne comprends pas, I don't understand. And next, if you wanted to ask me to repeat my question, how would you say that? So, pouvez, can, and then you, how do you say you? Répéter, your, how do you say your? Keeping in mind that it's for the formal, looking at the background, it says vous. Good. Pouvez-vous répéter votre question? Can you repeat your question? Oui, bien sûr. Qu'est-ce que vous buvez ce soir? Yes, of course. What are you drinking this evening? Good. So if we fast forward to the end of the meal and the server says, avez-vous terminé? Have you finished? And then you could say, désolé, monsieur, I don't understand. How do you say I don't understand again? Désolé, monsieur, je ne comprends pas. Sorry, sir, I don't understand. And this one's all you. How do you say, can you repeat your question? Oui. Pouvez-vous répéter votre question? Can you repeat your question? Oui, certainement. Avez-vous terminé votre dîner? Yes, certainly. Have you finished your dinner? Oui. It was délicieux. How do you say it was? Good. C'était délicieux. Parfait. Great. So we will see you in the next video. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. In this video, we're going to be continuing what to do if you don't understand someone. So let's get started. Qu'est-ce que je vous sers? What can I serve you? How do you say sorry and I don't understand? Do you remember? Oui, c'est désolé, je ne comprends pas. I don't understand. And do you remember how to ask someone to repeat their question? C'est pouvez-vous répéter votre question? Can you repeat your question? So again, qu'est-ce que je vous sers? What can I serve you? And what if you still don't understand the question? So try and fill in the blanks here. So sorry, I understand. Good. So it would be désolé, je ne comprends pas encore. Sorry, I still don't understand, or I don't understand still. And then the next step would be maybe to ask if anybody speaks English or whatever other language you speak. So, parlez you, would you say vous or tu? Anglais. Good, it would be vous. So, parlez-vous anglais? Non, je ne parle pas anglais. Uh-oh, that's not a good situation if they can't speak English. Puts you in quite a pickle. But it's good that you're learning French because then you'll be able to communicate with them further down the road. Good. Quelle langue parlez-vous is a question that I can ask. The server could ask them to see if maybe I speak other languages, to see if maybe there's a language that we both speak. And you can reply with Je parle blank blank et un peu de français and a bit of French. And here's just a couple of example words. So we have Hindi, Punjabi, Portuguese, Arabe, Espagnol, Spanish, Turkish, Gaelic, Italian, Allemand, German, Chinois, Chinese, Japonais, Japanese. And then you could ask, does anyone speak English? So you can kind of ask around the room. So how would you say speak English? Yes, it would be est-ce que quelqu'un parle anglais? Does anyone speak English? Perfect. So that's all for this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Au revoir. Bonjour et bienvenue. Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to continue with what to do if you don't know something in French. So let's start off with this example. Again, it's continued on from the restaurant module that we did. So as the server, I might ask, vous voulez un dessert ou un café? And then if you said, I don't know, how would you fill in I do not? So you would say, je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas. I don't know. Est-ce que vous avez besoin d'un moment pour choisir? Do you need a moment to choose? Then you could reply with, oui, j'ai besoin de... And do you remember how to say a moment to choose? Oui, j'ai besoin d'un moment pour choisir. Yes, I need a moment to choose. And then how do we say thank you again? Good, it's merci. And d'accord, okay. And then if you wanted to say sorry, you could say désolé. Okay, and then another example outside of a restaurant could be, est-ce que tu sais où est le musée? Do you know where the museum is? And you could say, no, sorry, I don't know. So how would we say I don't know? Do you remember? Non, je ne sais pas. And if you wanted to say sorry, how do we say sorry? Désolé. Désolé, sorry. Est-ce que tu peux m'aider à trouver le musée? Can you help me find the museum? Oui, je can t'aider à trouver the museum. So how do we say can and the museum? Oui, je peux t'aider à trouver le musée. Oui, je peux t'aider à trouver le musée. Good. And then, merci, thank you. Donc, merci. That's the end of this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bonsoir, mon ami. In this video, we're still going to be talking about what to do if you don't know something or don't understand something. So let's get started. You're actually up first this time, so how would I say, which desserts do you have? Quel dessert avez-vous? Which desserts do you have? Il y a le gâteau basque aux cerises et la crème brûlée. There is the Basque cake with cherries and the crème brûlée. And how do I say sorry again? Good. Say désolé, sorry. And then you can say trop vite, too fast, trop vite. And then you could politely ask, can you speak more slowly? And do you remember how to say to speak? To speak? Oui. Pouvez-vous parler plus lentement? Can you speak more slowly? Pouvez-vous parler plus lentement? Oui. Je le répète plus lentement. And then le here means it. So, je le répète plus lentement. Il y a le gâteau basque aux cerises et la crème brûlée. And then you want to say thank you. So how do you say thank you again? Oui, say merci. Merci. Bon, great work. You're really progressing through the course, and I'm really impressed with all the progress you've been making so far. Keep up the good work. We'll see you in the next video. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. In this video, to wrap up this module, we're going to do a review of the vocabulary we've learned so far. So we have désolé, sorry. Je ne comprends pas, I don't understand. Je ne sais pas, I don't know. Tu sais or vous savez, you know. Répéter, to repeat. Choisir, to choose. Tu as besoin de or vous avez besoin de, you need. J'ai besoin de, I need. Tu parles or vous parlez, you speak. Je parle, I speak. Trouver, to find. Aider, to help. Bien sûr, of course. Ne pas encore, still don't, or still not. Langue, languages. Le musée, the museum. Un peu de, a bit of. Trop vite, too fast. Plus, more. Lentement, slowly. And quelqu'un, which is someone or anyone. So there you have it. That's all the vocabulary we've learned so far this module, and we will see you in the next module. Au revoir! Bonjour mon ami. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to search for and discuss hotels in French. So let's begin. Voici l'hôtel où on va rester. Here is the hotel where we are going to stay. Va is are going to. L'hôtel a des chambres à 2 lits et des chambres au grand lit. The hotel has rooms with 2 beds and rooms with a big bed. Now, how would we say, I prefer a room with 2 beds? So we're looking for the words prefer and the word room. Oui, c'est je préfère une chambre à 2 lits. I prefer a room with 2 beds. Toutes les chambres ont une salle de bain privée. All of the rooms have a private bathroom. Bathroom is salle de bain, salle de bain. Parfait, perfect. Now, how would we fill in the blanks here? Je reste seulement dans les chambres à une bathroom privée. What's the word for bathroom again? Ah, c'est salle de bain. Je reste seulement dans les chambres à une salle de bain privée. I stay only in rooms with a private bathroom. Est-ce que la réception est 24 heures sur 24? Is the reception 24/7? So in French, for 24/7, we say 24 heures sur 24. So literally 24 over 24. So rather than 24/7, we say 24 over 24, signifying that the whole 24 hours of the 24 hours in a day, they are open. So how would we say yes, the reception est 24 heures sur 24 heures? The answer is oui, la réception est 24 heures sur 24 heures. Parfait. Quand est-ce qu'on s'enregistre? When do we check in? Check in is s'enregistre or s'enregistrer. we check in around 2 p.m. So how do we say we check in again? C'est on s'enregistre vers le 14. So on s'enregistre. Good. There you have it. So in the next video, we'll talk about how to actually do the check-in. So we'll see you there. À la prochaine. Bonsoir, mon ami. In this video, we're going to talk about how to do a check-in in French. So first up, it's you. So how do you say, here's the reception? Voici la réception. Here's the reception. Then I would say, as the person who's working at the reception desk, Bonjour, madame et monsieur. Hello, ma'am and sir. And then you might say, Bonjour, on veut check in. How do we say check in again? S'enregistrer. Bonjour, on veut s'enregistrer. We want to check in. Est-ce que vous avez une réservation? Do you have a reservation? Oui, on a a reservation. How do you say a reservation? Oui, on a une réservation. Yes, we have a reservation. La réservation est d'Expedia. The reservation is from Expedia. Oui, elle is from Expedia. How do you say is from? Et d'Expedia. Good. You'll notice that LA, it is. So we say LA because la réservation is feminine. So in French, we have two words for it. We have il, elle. Il means it, but also means he. Elle means it, but also means she. So whenever you have, you want to say it, you have to decide whether it's masculine or feminine, and then choose either il or elle accordingly. Vos documents d'identité, s'il vous plaît. Vos documents d'identité, s'il vous plaît. Your identification, please, or literally your identity documents. And then you might hand over your passports, for instance. So then you might say, there is our passports, or there are our passports. So do you remember how to say that? There is? Voilà nos passeports. There's our passports. And if you have a question about whether breakfast is included, you might say, est-ce que le petit déjeuner is compris, compris, included? So how do we say is? Oui, say est. So, est-ce que le petit déjeuner est compris? Est-ce que le petit déjeuner est compris? Is the breakfast included? And then I would reply as the reception, oui, le petit déjeuner est compris. Yes, the breakfast is included. Voilà les clés. There are your keys, or there are the keys. Votre chambre est au 3e étage. Your room is on the 3rd floor. Merci for the keys. How do we say for the keys? Merci pour les clés. And then I might say, bon séjour, bon séjour, have a nice stay. Great. So that's great. In the next video, we're going to be talking more about hotels. So we'll see you there. À bientôt. Bonjour. In this video, we're going to be talking about numbers that are larger than 100. So let's start. We have 101, we have 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110. Then we have 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Next, our larger numbers are 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, and etc. Then we have 100,000, 100,000, 200,000, 200,000, 300,000, 300,000, 400,000, And then we get even higher with millions, 2 millions, 3 millions, 4 millions. Then we have milliards, 2 milliards, 3 milliards, 4 milliards. So 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. And if we want to talk about the year, you might have already noticed when we talked about birthdays that in French, the years are read differently. So in English, we say 1970 instead of 1970. But in French, they actually only say 1970 for the year. They never will say 1970. It's always 1970, 1984, 2019, etc. So 2019 is 2019, 2021 is 2021, 2010 is 2010, 1970 is 1970, 1984 is 1984, 1999 is 1999. So there you have it. So now you know how to use numbers of all sorts, all the way up to a billion, and actually even more than a billion. So that's it for this this module here, and we will see you in the next section. À bientôt. Salut. In this video, we're going to continue talking about hotels, specifically how to do the checkout once you're ready to leave. So I'll let you start. So how do we say hello, ma'am? Bonjour, madame. Hello, ma'am. Bonjour, madame and monsieur. Hello, madame and sir. And if you want to say, we want to pay the bill. Do you remember how to say we want to? It's 2 words. On veut, we want to, payer la facture. We want to pay the bill. Est-ce que vous avez votre clé? Do you have your key? Yes. Voilà notre key. So how do you say yes and how do you say key? Oui, voilà notre clé. Yes, there's our key. Est-ce que vous avez passé un bon séjour? Est-ce que vous avez passé un bon séjour? Did you have a good stay? Oui, on a passé. Yes, we had a good stay. How do we say a good stay? Oui, on a passé un bon séjour. Yes, we had a good stay. En total, ça fait 300 euros. In total, that's 300 euros. Comment est-ce que vous payez? How are you going to pay? Or how are you paying? Espèces, cash. And if we were to say, here they are, les is they. So then how do we say here are? I'll give you a hint, it starts with a V. It's voici. So les voici. Here they are. Merci. Voici votre reçu. Thank you. Here's your receipt. Bonne journée, monsieur et madame. Have a good day, sir and ma'am. And then how do we say, have a good day, ma'am? Say, bonne journée, madame. Have a good day, ma'am. Great, so there you have it. So now you know how to check into a hotel, search for hotels, and now check out for hotels. In the next video, we're going to be talking about numbers particularly larger than 100. So we'll see you there. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. In this video, we're going to do a quick recap of all of the words that we've learned in this section. So we have on va, we're going, rester, to stay, s'enregistrer, to check in, payer, to pay, vous avez passé, you had, you spent, seulement, only, vers, toward or around, number heure, so number o'clock. Des chambres, some rooms. L'hôtel, the hotel. Lit, bed. Tout, toutes, all. Une salle de bain, a bathroom. Privé, private. La réception, the reception. 24 heures sur 24, 24 hours a day. Document d'identité, identification. Passeport, passport. Le petit déjeuner, breakfast. Compris, included. Les clés, the keys. Troisième, third. Étage, floor. La facture, the bill. Espèce, cash. And finally, bon séjour. Have a good stay. Salut mon ami. In this section, we're going to be talking about different types of hobbies and activities and sports that you can do. So this is really useful information for when you are looking for things to do, or if you meet a new friend and you just want to explain to them what your interests are. So this first video is going to focus specifically on sports. So let's get started. So a good question to ask to open up the conversation is, est-ce que tu fais du sport? Est-ce que tu fais du sport? Do you do sports or do you play sports? And then you can reply with oui, je fais, and then how did we say sports before? Oui, je fais du sport. Yes, I do sports, or I play sports. Est-ce que tu joues au foot? Do you play football? And how would we answer this? No, I don't play football. So think about the two words we need for don't, or do not, or not. Two words, and then as well, the word we just learned for football. Non, je ne joue pas au foot. No, I don't play football. Est-ce que tu joues au hockey? Do you play hockey? Oui, je joue. And then how do we say hockey? Oui, je joue au hockey. Yes, I play hockey. And then maybe you might ask me, do you play hockey? So how would you ask me that? Est-ce que tu joues au hockey? Do you play hockey? Oui, je joue aussi au hockey. Yes, I play hockey too. And then if you were to ask me if I play tennis, how would you ask that? Est-ce que tu joues au tennis? Do you play tennis? Oui, je joue au tennis. Yes, I play tennis. And maybe you might ask me if I play basketball. So how do you ask me this? Est-ce que tu joues au basket? Do you play basketball? Non, je ne joue pas au basket. No, I do not play basketball. So that's it for this video for the sports. And in the next video, we'll continue discussions about different hobbies. So we'll see you there. À la prochaine! Salut mon ami! Now that we've talked about sports, let's talk about music, and music as a hobby. So if I was to ask you if you play music, I might ask, est-ce que vous faites de la musique? Do you play music? You could reply with, yes, I play music. So how would you say that? How do you say music? Oui, je fais de la musique. Yes, I play music. Quels instruments est-ce que vous jouez? Quels instruments est-ce que vous jouez? Which instruments do you play? You could reply with I play du piano et de la guitare, et vous? So how do we say I play? Je joue du piano et de la guitare. Et vous? Je joue du piano et de la batterie. I play piano and drums. And how do you think we could ask what genre of music do you listen to? Quel genre de musique do vous écoutez? So how do we say music and then do? Remember, do is the 3-word expression. So, quel genre de musique est-ce que vous écoutez? So, est-ce que is do, and then musique is music. J'écoute le rock. I listen to rock. Et vous? And how would you reply to this? I listen to jazz and pop. J'écoute le jazz et le pop. Good. So now that we can talk about music and sports, in the next video we'll talk about other kinds of hobbies. So we'll see you there. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. In this video we're going to continue to talk about hobbies and activities. So let's get started. Est-ce que tu aimes jouer aux cartes? Do you like to play cards? How would you reply to this? No, I don't like to play cards. So the don't, remember, is 2 words. Non, je n'aime pas jouer aux cartes. No, I don't like to play cards. Est-ce que tu aimes jouer aux jeux de société? Do you like to play board games? Board games is jeux de société. Oui, I like to play. How do you say I like to play? Oui, j'aime jouer aux jeux de société. Yes, I like to play board games. Est-ce que tu veux jouer aux échecs ou au Scrabble avec moi maintenant? Do you want to play chess or Scrabble with me now? Non, because je fais du jardinage. Because I'm doing some gardening, or I'm gardening. How do we say because? Non, parce que je fais du jardinage. Parce que, because. D'accord. Après, after? Oui, après le and gardening. How do we say gardening again? Le jardinage. Oui, après le jardinage. Yes, after gardening. Great, good job. Salut mon ami. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that if you do have any questions, feel free to post any of the questions in the question and answers section below. I'd be happy to try and answer them for you. Otherwise, you can also post your questions in our online learning community on Facebook. And if you haven't joined just yet, be sure to join to stay up to date with all the different content that we're posting and the different practice exercises. But yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'd be happy to help. So let's get started with this lesson. So if we were going to talk about the weather, I might ask, que temps fait-il? Que temps fait-il? Temps is weather. Il fait, it's chaud, warm. And then how do we say today? Do you remember how to say today? Think back to when we were talking about birthdays. Aujourd'hui. Il fait chaud aujourd'hui. It's warm today. Donc, est-ce que tu veux faire de la natation? So, do you want to go swimming or do you want to swim? Faire de la natation? Oui, je veux. And then how do we say to swim again? Oui, Je veux faire de la natation. Yes, I want to swim. Faire de la natation. Swim. Après la natation, qu'est-ce que tu fais? After swimming, what are you doing? How do we say after swimming? Après la natation, after swimming, je fais de la bicyclette. Et toi? After swimming, I'm going biking. And you? Je fais du jogging. I'm going jogging. Allons à la piscine. Allons means let's go. And then piscine is the word for pool. And I might reply with oui, allons à la piscine. Let's go to the pool. So that's it for this video and for this section on hobbies and sports and music. In the next video, we're going to do a bit of a vocabulary recap. So I will see you there. Bienvenue à this module's vocabulary recap. So welcome to this module's vocabulary recap. So to start off, we have tu fais du sport, or vous faites du sport. You do sports or you play sports. Next, tu fais de la musique. Vous faites de la musique. You play music. Jouer au foot. To play football. Jouer au hockey. To play hockey. Jouer au tennis. To play tennis. Jouer au basket. To play basketball. Jouer du piano. To play piano. Jouer de la guitare. To play guitar. Jouer de la batterie. To play drums. Jouer aux cartes. To play cards. Jouer aux jeux de société. To play board games. Jouer aux échecs. To play chess. Faire du jardinage. To garden. Faire de la natation. To go swimming. Faire de la bicyclette. To go biking. Faire du jogging. To go jogging. Écouter. To listen to. Allons. Let's go. Instrument. Instrument. Le rock. Rock. Le jazz. Jazz. Le pop. Pop. La piscine. The pool. Maintenant. Now. Après. After. Que temps fait-il? What's the weather like? Il fait chaud. It's hot out. Salut mes amis. We're really getting close to the end of the course, which is really exciting. I hope that you've learned a lot so far. There's still a little bit more to learn though, so let's dive in. In this video, we're going to be talking about the different colors. So this one will be a pretty straightforward video. So we have the word bleu for blue, bleu. The extra E is for if it becomes feminine. The pronunciation is the same though. Blanc et blanche, white. Blanche is the feminine form of blanc. Rouge, red. Noir and noir, again, same pronunciation, but we add an extra E at the end, and this is black. Jaune, jaune, yellow. Vert or verte. Verte is the feminine form of vert, green. Gris or grise, which is the feminine form, gray. Orange, orange, orange. Rose, pink. Rose. Violet or violette, which is the feminine form, purple. Marron, marron or marron, marron, which is the feminine form of marron, brown. So those are the colors, and we'll actually be using this a little bit in some of the subsequent videos. So I'll see you there. À bientôt. Bonjour mon ami. Welcome to this next video. Let's get started. So it's actually your turn to start. So how do you say hi ma'am in French? C'est salut madame. Hi ma'am. Salut, and I'm the madame. Qu'est-ce que tu cherches? What are you looking for? How would you say, I'm looking for a skirt or a dress for a wedding? Specifically, how do you say I? Oui, c'est je. Donc, je cherche une jupe ou une robe pour un mariage. So, you're looking for, so you, but I'm looking for a skirt or a dress for the wedding. And then I ask, quelle couleur est-ce que tu cherches? Which color are you looking for? And cherche is looking for. And you want to say nothing white. So remember the last lesson we talked about the different colors. So do you remember how to say white? Oui, c'est blanc. Donc rien de blanc. So nothing white. And I say, bien sûr, of course, because nobody wants to wear white to a wedding. Next, how would you say pink or purple? Do you remember how to say pink or purple? Oui, rose et violet. Quelque chose de rose ou de violet. Something pink or purple. And then I ask, I got a dress and I've walked over to show you. Qu'est-ce que tu penses de cette robe? What do you think of this dress? Qu'est-ce que tu penses de cette robe? How do you say it's very? It's very. And then do you remember how to say the word big? C'est très belle, mais elle est trop grande. But it's too big. Voilà une robe plus petite. There's a dress that's more small. So I bring over another dress that's smaller. And then I ask, voulez-vous essayer cette robe? Do you want to try on this dress? So try on is essayer, essayer. And how do you say I want to? Yes, I want to. How do we say that? Oui, je veux l'essayer. Oui, je veux l'essayer. Quand est-ce que vous fermez? Quand est-ce que vous fermez? When do you close? And then you ask, when do you close? So do you remember the word for do? Do in questions? It's the three-word phrase. Oui, c'est est-ce que. Quand est-ce que vous fermez? When do you close? And then I reply, on ferme à 18 heures. We close at 6 p.m. 18 heures. Because in most French-speaking countries, they use the 24-hour clock at 18 heures. Great. So that's it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about men's clothing. So I'll see you there. À bientôt. Salut mon ami. In this video, like I said, we're going to be talking about men's clothing. So again, it's your turn to start. So how do I say hello, man? Oui, c'est bonjour, madame, or bonsoir, madame is also correct. Bonjour, monsieur. Qu'est-ce que tu cherches? Hello, sir. What are you looking for? How do you say I'm looking for? Un t-shirt ou un polo? I'm looking for. Je cherche un t-shirt ou un polo. I'm looking for a t-shirt. On a des t-shirts et des polos en bleu ou en rouge. So en bleu in blue or en rouge in red. En rouge, please. Do you remember how to say please? En rouge, s'il vous plaît. In red, please. Est-ce que vous voulez voir un jean, un pantalon ou un short pour votre t-shirt? Do you want to see jeans, pants, or shorts for your t-shirt? Notice that in French, we say un jean, un pantalon, and un short. So literally one jean, one pant, one short. So this is French, but then in English they're plural. You'll never say like I want one jean. We'll say I want a pair of jeans, or a pair of pants, or a pair of shorts. But in French, you can just say a jean, and it means a pair of jeans. So that's one difference from English. Oui, I want to voir un jean. So I want to see some jeans or a pair of jeans. How do you say I want to? Oui, je veux voir un jean. Je veux. I want to. Quelle est votre taille pour le pantalon? What is your size for pants? Taille is size. Au Canada, ma size est 36 pour pants. So how do you say pants and size? Au Canada, ma taille est 36 pour le pantalon. In Canada, my size is 36 for pants. Donc ici en France, here in France, c'est 52. It's 52 after the conversion. And then you reply with parfait, perfect. On vend aussi des pullovers pour l'automne. We sell sweaters for autumn, or for the fall. And how do we say no thank you? I don't want any sweaters. Non merci, je ne veux pas de pullover. Perfect. So that's the end of this video for talking about clothing, and we will see you in the next one. À bientôt! Bonsoir! In this video, we're going to be wrapping up our unit on clothing and shopping. So what better way to conclude our chapter on shopping with talking about how to interact with the staff at the cash register. So that's what our focus is going to be for this lesson, is paying for things. So I'll let you begin. So how do we say hi? Oui, salut. Salut. Do you remember how to say going to? Je going to acheter seulement ces blank t-shirts. So we're looking for going to and 3. Je vais acheter seulement ces 3 t-shirts. I'm going to buy only these 3 t-shirts. D'accord. Est-ce que tu sais notre politique pour les remboursements? Do you know our policy, politique, pour les remboursements, for refunds? No. And do you remember how to say I don't know? And what about refunds? Non, je ne sais pas votre politique pour les remboursements. I don't know your policy for refunds. Tu peux retourner un achat dans 7 jours. You can return a purchase within 7 days. Un achat, a purchase. Dans, within 7 jours, 7 days. And how do you say okay again? Oui, d'accord. Oh, ce pullover est en solde. So this sweater is on sale, which I'm realizing as I'm scanning things through and putting them in the bag for you, the customer. En solde, hein? And how do we say perfect again? How do we say perfect? Oui, parfait. Et c'est parfait. And un is like their version of a, kind of. En total, how much ça coûte? How do we say how much? Do you remember? En total, combien ça coûte? Ça coûte 35 euros. It costs 35 euros. And how do we say perfect again? Oui, parfait. Visa, s'il te plaît. Est-ce que I have a bag? So how can you say can I have a bag? So we're looking for can I have. Est-ce que je peux avoir un sac? Can I have a bag? Oui, certainement. Voici tes achats. Here are your purchases. And how do we say have a good evening? Oui, c'est bonne soirée. Have a good evening. Bonne soirée. Bonsoir. Now let's review some of the vocabulary we covered in this past module. So we have chercher, to look for, penser de, to think of, essayer, to try on, fermer, to close, acheter, to buy, retourner, to return, coûter, to cost, une jupe, a skirt, une robe, a dress, un mariage, a wedding, un t-shirt, a t-shirt, un polo, a polo shirt, un jean, a pair of jeans, un pantalon, a pair of pants, un short, a pair of shorts, taille, size, pullover, sweater, l'automne, fall or autumn, rien, nothing, quelque chose, something, elle, she or it, il, he or it, beau, belle, beautiful, belle is the feminine form, politique, policy, les remboursements, refunds, un achat, a purchase, en solde, on sale, et un sac, a bag. So there you have it. Salut! In this video and in this section, we're going to be talking about different tourist activities. The first few videos will focus on giving directions because it's really useful, especially if you get lost or if someone asks you for directions, to know how to be able to do this. So you have the floor first. Do you remember how to say where is? So excusez-moi, excuse me, where is l'épicerie, the grocery store? Où est? Où est? Excusez-moi, où est l'épicerie? Excuse me, where is the grocery store? L'épicerie est près de nous. Près de is near us, I say. Now it's your turn. Can I walk to the grocery store? Est-ce que can I marcher à l'épicerie? Je peux. Can I? Est-ce que je peux marcher à l'épicerie? Oui, certainement. L'épicerie est à la rue Champagne. Oui, certainement. Yes, certainly. L'épicerie, the grocery store, is à la rue Champagne. À la is on. Oh, à côté de la gare. Oh, beside the station. And then I reply, no, en face de la gare. No, in front of the station. And as a thank you, you say, what do you say? Oui, merci beaucoup, madame. Bonne journée. Thanks a lot, madam. Have a great day. And then I can reply, bonne journée. Have a nice day. So that's it for this video. We'll continue on with the directions in the following video. I'll see you there. Salut! In this video, we're going to be continuing on with giving directions, and we're going to be talking about giving directions to an important place, the hospital, l'hôpital. So first of all, do you remember how to say excuse me? Oui, c'est excusez-moi. So you ask me, excusez-moi, comment est-ce que j'arrive à l'hôpital? Comment est-ce que j'arrive à l'hôpital? How do I arrive at the hospital? I'll reply, tout d'abord, first of all, tournez à droite ici. Turn right here. À droite, right. Okay. How do we say okay again? D'accord. Je tourne à droite. Okay, I'll turn right. Puis, then, continuez tout droit. Tout droit means straight. You'll notice that à droite means right, but tout droit means straight. D'accord, je continue. And then how do we say straight again? Tout droit. D'accord, je continue. Tout droit. Okay, I'll continue straight. Enfin, tournez à gauche et voilà l'hôpital. Finally, turn left and there's the hospital. À gauche, left. D'accord, je tourne à... And how do you say left? Oui, gauche. D'accord, je tourne à gauche. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Bonne soirée. And then you reply, have a good evening. Do you remember how to say that? Oui, bonne soirée. Great, so that's it for giving directions. So now you have a pretty good idea about how to give directions using certain keywords like left, right, straight, next to, in front of, etc. So we'll see you in the next video. Salut! In this video, we're going to finish off with some bonus lectures. In this bonus lecture, we're talking about some vocabulary and some things you might hear at a museum when you go to buy your ticket. So let's get started. Bonjour, madame. Bienvenue à notre musée. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to our museum. Bienvenue, welcome, à notre musée, to our museum. Hello, sir. How do we say hello, sir? Bonjour, monsieur. And I will ask, combien de billets est-ce que vous achetez? Combien de, how many, billets, tickets, est-ce que vous achetez? Are you buying? And then you can reply by saying, I'm buying 3 tickets, please. So how do we say please? Oui, j'achète 3 billets, s'il vous plaît. I'm buying 3 tickets, please. 3 billets pour adultes, 3 tickets for adults. So how can you fill in these blanks here? So 2 tickets, plural, for adults, and 1 ticket for a child. Donc, 2 billets pour adultes et 1 billet pour un enfant. 2 tickets for adults and 1 ticket for a child. En total, ça fait 15 euros. In total, it's 15 euros. And do you remember how to say, here's the cash? Here's the cash. Voici les espèces. Here's the cash. Merci, madame. Voici vos billets. Here are your tickets. Aujourd'hui, on a une exposition de Monique. Today, we have an exhibit on Monique. How do we say who is? Who is? Qui est Monique? Monique est un peintre, painter. Ses tableaux, her paintings, sont dans l'exposition. Dans cette exhibit, il y a des aquarelles ou les peintures à l'huile. In this exhibit, are there watercolors or oil paintings? How do we say exhibit? Exposition, exhibit. Dans cette exposition, il y a les aquarelles ou les peintures à l'huile. Les aquarelles, watercolors. Bonne visite, madame. Have a great visit, ma'am. And how do you say thank you very much, sir? Thank you very much, sir. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. Merci beaucoup. Salut, and welcome to this second bonus lecture. In this second bonus lecture, we're going to be talking about wine tastings. So let me begin. I'm the sommelier, so I'll say Bienvenue à cette dégustation de vin. Welcome to this wine tasting. Dégustation, tasting de vin, of wine. Est-ce que vous préférez le vin rouge ou le vin blanc? Do you prefer red wine or white wine? Le vin rouge, red wine, le vin blanc, white wine. I prefer le white wine. How do we say that? Je préfère le vin blanc. I prefer white wine. Voici un verre de Sauvignon blanc. Here is a glass of Sauvignon blanc. Un verre, a glass. Ce vin est d'une appellation contrôlée en France. This wine is from a controlled wine region in France. Une appellation contrôlée, a controlled wine region. Il est very delicious. How do we say very delicious? Très délicieux. Très délicieux. Est-ce que vous préférez les vins secs ou les vins doux? Do you prefer dry wines or sweet wines? Les vins secs, dry wines, ou les vins doux, sweet wines? Les vins secs, les vins secs, dry wines. Est-ce que le vignoble est près... How do we say here? Here. Ici. Est-ce que le vignoble est près d'ici? Is the vineyard close to here? Oui, le vignoble est 100 km de cette ville. Le vignoble est 100 km de cette ville. Vignoble, vineyard. And how do we say thanks to you? To is à. Merci à vous, le sommelier. Thanks to you, sommelier. Bonjour, and welcome to the final vocabulary revision for the course. This vocabulary is taken from the vocabulary in sections 9 and 10, so the last two of the course. So let's get started. We have excusez-moi, excuse me, marcher, to walk, arriver, to arrive, tourner, to turn, comment, how, l'épicerie, the grocery store, la rue, the street, la gare, the station, l'hôpital, the hospital, près de, near, à côté de, next to, en face de, in front of, tout d'abord, first of all, à droite, right, tout droit, straight, à gauche, left, puis, then, billet, ticket, un enfant, child, des adultes, adults, un peintre, a painter, tableau, paintings. This is also the word for chalkboards, if you remember correctly. It's the same word. Cette exposition, this exhibit, that exhibit. Les aquarelles, watercolors. Les peintures à l'huile, oil paintings. Bon visite, have a good visit. Cette dégustation de vin, this wine tasting, that wine tasting. Un verre, sec, doux, et le vignoble. So that's all of the vocabulary for the course. Great job. I feel like you have a really, really strong vocabulary now to continue to learn French and to be able to use it with native speakers. So great job so far practicing the vocabulary and working on the pronunciation. Keep practicing and keep watching the videos over and over again to really memorize those words and put them into practice.
Bonjour à tous. Merci pour votre participation à ce cours. Thanks for your participation in this course. I hope that you have enjoyed what you've learned so far. The purpose of this final video is to provide you with some suggestions to continue to learn French and to apply your language skills beyond our course. Here are 7 things you can do to continue learning French. Number 1, use Duolingo to keep learning new words. If you haven't already signed up for Duolingo, Duolingo is a free platform to learn new languages. Duolingo is specifically designed to help you learn vocabulary, but you will also learn some grammar along the way as well. It is completely free and organized into short lessons which you can do on the go. You can even learn fictional languages like Klingon. Number 2, check out my YouTube channel for some up-to-date playlists for songs in French. You can also look up your own playlists on YouTube. 2 artists who I frequently listen to are Soprano and Mes Aïeux. Check them out on Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube. Number 3, another thing you can do to keep learning is to register for another one of my courses. Since you're already one of my students and part of my language learning community, you're eligible for a discount. Just use my coupon code on the screen. I also offer lots of different courses if you're interested in studying another language. This coupon code is only good until the end of the month, so be sure to use it before time runs out. Number 4, you can also connect with me on YouTube. I have lots of free videos on YouTube about French, Italian, Spanish, and languages in general. You'll really find my channel interesting if you love to learn about other languages. I am always posting new videos answering common questions about grammar, including why does French have weird numbers for 70, 80, and 90, or why does English have such weird spelling rules? Number 5, another great idea to put your language skills to the test are to start a journal as a way to practice. You can write in it daily about what happened to you that day, or you can write short stories and write your notes as a summary in the journal. Number 6, purchase a workbook to keep practicing. There are lots of workbooks available on Amazon to practice learning a language. Many of them are pretty reasonably priced, and it is a good opportunity for you to work your way through grammar drills to get more comfortable with the grammar. Number 7, check out my website for some free grammar lessons and different blog posts about culture, history, and travel. So that's it for this course. I'm glad we've had the chance to get to know each other, and I look forward to staying connected with you as you continue to learn French. Any of the links I have mentioned in this final lecture are available in the supplemental resources section of this video. Au revoir!